I did that in a rush, didn't I? Oh God. Slash title fish where you find them. Oh, gotta love a cracked phone screen. Slash game. Just chatting. Done. Slash title fish. Yupto, how are you, bud? Cool. Fish away fun. Only took 3 goes. How is everyone? Let's just get right there. Now that's going to save me a lot of battery power. Okay. All right, Bemo. So we've got 2 tides today. One in an hour and a half, and then one 12 hours after that. Right. So. Oh, it is Yupto. I use fishing as a way of relaxing, mate. You know, and where we are here is one of the deepest parts of the river. So, and how are you, mate? Thanks for coming in again, bud. Now, let's go to chat only, apply. Beautiful. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, what I did is I took a leaf out of everyone's book, right? And I've gone and bought some smaller soft plastics. Now, as everyone's well aware, I have no hair. So hair, no, right? And what I've done is I went and bought some gulps just to try them out. Now, I don't like using scent and that sort of stuff, but apparently it washes off pretty quick, which suits me fine. And I was quite shocked, actually, because, to give you a rundown, this colour here, the smelt colour, right, works really well on this river and in WA. Yet, on the east coast, blue pepper neon works really well. And also, apparently, here, nuclear chicken works well. The colour that I was using the other day wasn't actually a true nuclear chicken. So, anyway. Yeah, thanks, mate. Let me just go to. Good reception. That's all we need. All right, excellent. Lovely. Chuck that there. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change everything around. But first, what I want to do. So, I'm just going to try and use a 3-inch in case there's a mulloway floating around. Right. And let's just have a look. If we do hook one, they're very hard to land here, people. So, Mystic, hello, mate. Yeah, you might have to refresh, Mystic, because we've actually got really good reception here, mate. We're going to swap to a 1/16th ounce jig head in a minute and just cast around these snags. We might even get a brim today, people, if all goes well. But from all accounts, a lot of the mulloway in the river are further upstream, which is where we are today. I'll just double check on that. Oh, you bugger. Well, that's a nice cast. That's a good cast. Bud Meiser, how are you? Just give me a second. I'll double check because I did the test and it was good. All right, people, we've just had a big hit across the river there, fam. We've just had a massive hit across the river there. You'll see all the bubbles. Right, so that's a good sign, but I don't have no idea why they're in that section of the river. So let's find out, eh? All right, let's have a look. Let's just move this out a bit. I've tried a new feature on the phone too, we're going to see. Yeah, 6,174 kilobits per second, so that should have fixed it. This is awesome reception here. Is that better? Yeah, Yupto, I make spinners, bud. I make spinners and sell them to shops here in Western Australia. So, yeah, I do a lot of that sort of stuff. Mate, if you name a style of fishing, Yupto, I've done it, okay? So, fly fishing, spinners, soft plastics, hard bodies, the whole lot, mate. What we might have to try and do is just target smaller fish, I think. I find this a great way to relax, fam, okay? This is just sensational. Come down to the river, you've got the wind blowing, and being at like the same level as water can be quite peaceful too, you know? See, the thing is, people, one thing, oh, hello, we had a follow. I think that was a Malay. With streaming, right, and especially with mobile reception, especially here in Western Australia, I've literally shifted that phone probably 2 feet from where it was. Totally different reception. So, you know, it's just, it's the dreaded curse here in WA. Okay, so, you know, that's how it goes. Magnet fishing. I wish I was a magnet for fish culpable. I wouldn't have so many people falling asleep during stream, but, you know. This tide's coming in pretty quick, fam. And it is very deep here, famo, like deep, deep. I might stir up culpable here and say deeper than the deep state, culpable. All right. Nah, not really, mate. I mean, our waters here are quite discoloured, but Miser. So at the moment, you literally can't see 2 inches under the water. So usually your fresh water's discoloured and your salt water's clear. So there's not much point wearing Polaroids here because you still won't be able to see anything, mate, because of the mud, you know. God's loyal. How are you, stranger? Oh, really? Yeah, Updo, but you must have fairly clear water, mate. Like ours is fairly muddy, you know what I mean? So the biggest problem with Polaroid sunnies, people, is when you're walking along, you don't seem to see snakes better. If you can understand where I'm coming from. Hey, cheeky bugger. Oh, someone's gone to cast up here, and there's a ball sinker hanging off a bit of mono. So there we go. Daniel, how are you, bud? Okay, we're going to swap over to some of the smaller soft plastics now. Yeah, Daniel, it usually is here, mate. One thing that we can guarantee in February is the weather. Can't guarantee fish, though, son. Wisconsin, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's fairly cold where you are sometimes, so I don't think they'd survive much. I'm going to have to fish downstream with this wind when we change to the 1/16th jig heads. Something like that, Budmeister. Hey there, Quarthy. With all due respect, Bud, that's not really a specific enough question, mate, because each species is different. So, for example, you catch a 50 centimetre redfin perch, that's like catching a metre long mulloway, you know. So if you ask me a specific species, well, then I can help you. But apart from that, I can't really generalise, mate. I don't measure everything that I catch. I don't keep too many records and that sort of stuff, you know. So, I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? You know. So I can't really give you um, an answer for that. If you said, what's the biggest fish you've caught in this waterway, well, then that's a bit different because I can quantify that. Hey, that's a hit. Oh, hello. Oh, hopefully this next one changes all that. Dun, dun, dun. Well, that's good. Eupto, we don't get muskies in Western Australia, bud. We don't get pike. We don't get muskie. We don't get any of your bass species. We've got an Australian bass on the east coast, and we've got a jungle perch as well, which is sort of similar. But yeah, we don't have the species that you have in America. And in fact, I'm probably in the worst area in the world for freshwater fishing. This isn't a freshwater river. This is a saltwater river. So we have no naturally occurring freshwater sports fish, mate. All of our trout and redfin perch are introduced, and the trout have to be restocked every year because it's too hot. They would have seen every single soft plastic that swims in this spot. Beauty. So yeah, we don't get muskies, bud. Hey, what is the animosity towards muskies anyway in the States? Because apparently, from what I've read and then from what I've seen on YouTube, is a lot of people just kill them and leave them floating, which I don't understand. But anyway, a fish is a fish, isn't it? I think it's a bit of a hybrid, Culp. All right, we're going to go down to smaller soft plastics, see if we can get a little bream or something like that. So I don't think there's too many big fish in this river. I saw a very interesting snake on YouTube the other day, an emerald snake, which is native to America. And yeah, it's a non-venomous snake, and you wouldn't think it when you see it because it's huge. Oh, don't do that. Get out of there. Just clipped some foliage, fam. Got the lure back, lovely. Really? Why is that? I thought you just go out and get the biggest lure that you can get, and you know that's the only thing that seems to entice them. Oh, really? Yeah, Mystic. This is the home water, so to speak. Well, it's not my home water. My home water is about 170 kilometres that way. So yeah, with my work commitments, I can't do a full-blown fishing stream, and I've got a heap of stuff to do at home. So I just come down here, chill out, enjoy what's going on, you know, and just try and relax with it. Walla Walla, how are you, butter? What's going on? You well, gooder? That's life, you though. That's fishing, isn't it, mate? Um, that wind's strong. I hope this tree doesn't fall over on me. Ooh, that's deep there. Thanks very much, people. Hey there, Sniping Barber. How are you, bud? Right. That's fishing. I could probably cast a fly rod in here as well, I think. That's taking a long time to reach the bottom, people. This is very deep here. Hey, Ravens Quarters. How are you, bud? Rightio. One more cast with this. And then we're going to go down to the smaller soft plastics and see how we go. Excellent, mate. Maybe that's why you don't catch too many fish there, Eupto. You're on the 420 fishing team, bud. Okay, time to change, Famo. There could be a correlation there, mate. You never know. But, you know, what you lack in productivity, you make up in having a really good time. Let me just check if this is charging better now. That's much better. So keeping the screen on uses all the battery life. Thank you very much for the 80 viewers in here, people. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. Rightio, let's get a smaller jig head and we'll try one of these small flies, small soft plastics. Philly, how are you, bud? Yeah, that's all right, mate. The important thing is you're back now, mate. That's all that matters. You know, good to see you. Thanks for giving up your time to come in. Okay? You're here now. That's all right, Philly. Rightio. So, people, like I said, I got some of these gulps in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try a smaller colour. Nuclear chicken. There we go. I'm going to try. I haven't had any luck with nuclear chickens at all, people. Might be the name, eh? You might be tending to the sheep, mate. Hey? Just give me a second, fam. What I'm going to do here is just tie on a little 1/16 ounce jig head with a loop knot. Oops. Quite looking forward to using some soft plastics down at the beach, actually. All right, just give me a second, people. I'll be back in a second. So with your soft plastics, hey Kiwi Aarons, how are you, bud? Hey Charlie, if you're going to come into the stream, bud, come in and interact with chat, okay? Don't just come in and spam emotes from your favourite streamer, okay? Because it doesn't work like that, bud. All right, if you want a shout out, we'll give you a shout out, but we need to check the stream out first. All right, so what I'm going to do is get one of these little nuclear chickens or whatever they're called. I don't know who comes up with these names, but whoever it is, they must have a lot of time on their hands, you know? Some of the most creative people on the planet spend a lot of time under a mushroom cloud, for want of a better word. Donut, how are you, bud? You heard me, bud. I'll tell you why that is, Charlie. Because prior to us actually getting viewers and that sort of stuff, no one cared, mate. and we had to put a rule in for everyone. So that's just how it goes, bud. Sorry, man, if you're offended, but we had to put it in there. Like the other night when we had that big raid from Sammy. No, not spamming, mate. You're missing the point, bud. It's the first thing you typed in chat. Come in, say, hey, how you doing, blah, 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 you know, and acknowledge the community, and then come in, bud. We're not stupid. We know how things work. All right, let's try this little nuclear chicken, little nuclear chickadee. All right. So what we're trying to do here, right, is I've got to be careful because I'm a lot higher than the soft plastic, okay? And what I'm trying to do is I'm not trying to lift this too high up in the water column, and I've got to give it time to get back down to the bottom. But because we've got such a light jig head and a 3-inch soft plastic on there, that's taking a long time, which is good because the fish get a chance to look at it, you know? That's good. Okay. Now, that's the one. That is the one. Just give me a second. It's taking a full 15... Oh, hang on. It's taking a full 15 seconds nearly for the soft plastic to hit the bottom again. If we were fishing that side, it'd actually take a lot longer because the current's going that way. So let's just see how we go. Half the time, you just got to try and figure it out. You know, there's so many things that go wrong with soft plastics. Firstly, you've got to decide whether you're going to use a 3, 4, or 5-inch soft plastic in these waterways. You've got profile. You've got, you know, the color of the soft plastic, texture of the soft plastic, whether it's a soft or a hard soft plastic. You know, there's a lot to it. So all you got to do is just use the process of elimination and hope that it works out. It's the one. Hey there, Kind Spring. How are you, bud? Slivovica. Yeah, Charlie, we've been streaming for a long time, mate. We know how it works, bud. We're not silly, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we're about community and content, bud. So the other thing is too, you know, a lot of the people that come in and like do that with emotes and that sort of stuff, the people that they're doing that with have never even been in the stream, mate. So yeah, we just have to make one rule, people that we've stuck to. A few people get annoyed with it, but you know, others don't. So I don't like this lure colour at all. I've never caught anything on it. So I don't think Slivovica gives you a mushroom cloud, does it, mate? Seeing, I mean, if you're under a mushroom cloud drinking Slivovica, well, you might have to change the diet to less spider. Lovely. This is quite a long one, you know. Oh, ages ago. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we foul hooked a blowfish in the tail, which was ridiculous. All right, so I'm just going to have a few casts with this nuclear chicken, and what I'm going to do is, let's do a little experiment, right? We're going to stick with the 3-inch size soft plastics, and we're going to just change colours, and we're going to fish in exactly the same spot. That way, if there is a fish there, and we do hook a fish on one of the soft plastics, we know that that colour works for this waterway. So... now that's either a snag or a crab. It felt like I hit a carapace or a piece of wood there. Doesn't have a very good action on the way down for some reason. Brilliant. Have a few more casts. We'll try a few more. We'll try down here. Hey there, Kimes. Yeah, mate, I went in and subscribed at Tier 2 to Sammy today, and it's really nice to see everybody from SOM stream in here. Please make sure you're known in chat. Thank you very, very much for following up from the other day. That's really good of you. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, this river's in quite poor condition, but that's okay because with this, you know, what we're doing is we're getting accustomed to the fishing rig that we bought. And then when we go to rivers that have more fish in it, then we'll try and work it out from there, okay? But this river here in the old days, people, here you could catch yellowfin whiting, trevally, all sorts of stuff, you know? It was nearly a fish a cast back in the 70s and 80s. But things have changed, obviously. Hey, Rakiel, how are you, bud? When you say new setup, new streaming setup or new fishing setup, Rakiel? I mean, we're not even getting bites from Taylor, people. That's how bad it is. Thanks, mate. Haven't you, Philly? How come, bud? You need to do what Yupto does, mate. Just hit the old 420 and sit back and enjoy life. This is my Christmas present. This is a 270 ml Zodius rod from Shimano. And my birthday present was this 4000 Stratic. So I'm going away from Penn Reels. I'm going back to Shimano. I'm sad that I left, actually. So I just went and put a 20,000 Saragossa on lay-by, and I'm going to absolutely hammer that next time we go fishing. We're going to do a live comparison between the Saragossa and the Penn. So just see how that goes. But yeah, one thing I found with the Penn Reels, oh, come on. That was a hit, people. That could have been a brim. Come on, bud. Come back. All right, if you ever get a hit like this, don't make the mistake of lifting your rod tip. Drop your rod tip and step towards your soft plastic, because then it'll have a natural action. Righto, something's happened there. What happened there? Yeah, Rakiel, even this is probably a little bit... The good thing about Shimano, and this is why I like Shimano, is you always get more than what you pay for. So this is a beautiful rod. The ML, it's a reasonably fast tapered rod. I fish 15-pound braid through it, but the 4000 Stratic makes a bit of a difference on it, you know. So I mean, I'll just show you a rake heel. This is a 116-ounce jig head. I can actually get quite a good distance on it with the 15-pound braid, see? And that's as far as you need to cast to catch fish anyway, you know. I'm born here, Nick FIFA King. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, bud. The old pens, the old 850S, way back when in the 90s, you know, they were a good reel in those days. But then you had braid that was invented, and then they had to basically make reels that could use braid. So, you know, I bought the Pen Battle 3. I bought quite a few reels to use with braid, and yeah, it just wasn't happening, you know. My word, that's deep there. Okay. But the reason why I got this combo is I wanted to be able to use it with the kayak, and this will be perfect for it. Yeah, but that's all you need. The most important thing with this combo rake heel, I'll show you, it's not necessarily distance, mate, but what I can do is I can like point and shoot with my casting. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So, for example, right, let's bring this in here and a little bit of in-depth stuff. So what I've got here, okay, is I've got a little snag here, yeah? Right, I'm going to try and work around the camera here, okay? Hey, come on, you little bugger. All right, so see in here, right, what we've got is we've got the tide coming in through here and the wind directing it as well. I've got all these overhanging branches. My ideal sweet spot is between the point on that branch that to here or just to the right of that. So with these one-handed combos, right, if I'm aiming for this point here, right, what I can do, see that, how I got it? Right, even though it did get a bit snagged in the tree. Hang on, we'll do that again. Right. So what I can do is I do what's called point and shoot casting. It's more apparent in freshwater because you've got to try and get it. There, see? Right, so that's my little sweet spot. So now I'll just let the soft plastic sink. Right, now see how the line's got the bow in it? That's on the bottom, so I'll bump, bump. Now, yep, see how it's just straightened and it's dropped again? Now we know it's on the bottom, see? So I'll bump, bump again. Wind up a bit of the slack. Okay, bump, bump. And then that way what we're doing, you know, is we're just sort of working through here, if you know what I mean, okay? Let me shift this camera a little bit, guys, in the body. Grief. Right. Nice work. Anyway. How mate? Yeah, nearly. How you going? Anything further upstream or not? Is there much upstream? Oh, sorry. Are you many bait fish upstream and that or not? Quiet. Oh, right, okay. That seems to be the consensus in the river at the moment. Thanks, Philly. Susie Q, hello, bud. Boot, how are you, bud? All right, time to change colours. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on experience, right? This is a recommendation from people around the traps. Yeah, man, you got to use nuclear chicken. I've never, ever seen anything that colour in the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to what I know, which is the devil that I know, right? I mean, this will work on its day. They just got to pick the right day, don't you? All right, so this colour here is a smelt colour. That's a universal colour from around the world, right? Now, in these rivers, our smaller bait fish have a slightly bluish tinge to them, but sometimes things like this work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little 3 soft plastics, right? Just to try something different. I was going to try different colours, but then I'll just try like different size as well now. Right, lovely. So, Neville Bartos, how are you, bud? Buzzy, what's going on, champ? I always remember Chopper's weather report, and it's raining. Raining bullets at Neville Bartos's place. So the good thing about this is, when you use a 1/16 ounce jig head with a size 1 hook, you can actually present your soft plastic correctly, right? So all the gunk has gotten off that. So what'll happen is, that's a nice little size, and the good thing about this is, with soft plastics, you go bump, bump, and then they just drop down like that, you know? So let's try here now. Rightio, nice, good work. Neville, how are you? No, mate, I don't think so. All right, so the cops are in here looking for someone. Interesting. All right, people, so come here for a second. What we'll do... Oh, mate. And have you seen Chopper's driving lessons? Like, he runs over the bloke and he's got the L plater with him. He's like, drive, drive. Oh, good stuff. All right, people, now let's do a little bit more of the old in-depth stuff. So check this out, right? What we got here... Oh, excuse me. Right, so if we go in here, see this snag? Right, let's bring this out here a bit, okay? Right, so see this snag? What you got to do, right, is you got to try and work the snags. 2 things that you need to catch fish are shade and structure. Right, so you don't need to see my ugly mug. Have we got enough signal here? Great, all right. So what I'm going to do is, let me show you firsthand what to do. So, a lot of times too, when you do your casting and that sort of stuff, what you want to do is, so see down here at the tip of the snag there, what happens is, when the high tide comes through this way, as it hits the tip of that snag where this tree's fallen, see how the tree's pulsing? Right, that's from the constant water flow. So what happens is, in there what you've got is you've got a little pocket where bigger fish can sit. So you don't need to cast overhand all the time, right? So what I can do is I can just sit here like this and do what's like a little pendulum cast. Right, once again, point and shoot. Lovely. So I'm right onto it, see? Right, I want to cast a bit further out to the left of the snag, because if there's anything in there, you want to be able to turn its head before it goes in. If you cast too close, it'll be right on it. Now, that's on the bottom, okay? So I'm going to drop my rod tip because I'm a lot higher than the water. What was that? Was that a branch or was that a fish? Okay. Smelt seems to be the schnitzel, people. Rightio. So what we're going to do now is, let me show you something else, right? When you try and oh yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. So see the other thing too. What you want to do is you want to try and cover as much water as you can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand on the point here, and you've got the she oak where the branches are coming in. So just draw a line between the canopy line on the she oak and the point on that. And then what you do is you pick your moment, right? And then what you want to do is you want to work as much area as possible. So here, nowhere near it. Okay, that was a bit gutless. We're going to have to do that again. But remember, whenever you cast, good, bad, or indifferent, once it's in the water, doesn't matter where you've cast it, still fish it. Okay? The lighter the weight, the better the presentation, but you won't cast as far. Rightio. Now that's a snag. Bugger, get out of there, you bugger. Oh, 16 pound. Oh, okay, so that was a branch. Good, let's bring this in now. Okay, excellent. All right, a little bit of bark of Runesky. Oh no, that's a mollusk. All right, we've got mussels on here, people. So this is where you find bream. I was going to show you. Right, now. Okay, so this is good. Now I know that I can retrieve this lure a little bit quicker to get over the mollusks. Now on the left here, you'll see a little branch that's died, that's fallen in the water. Ideally, what I want to do is land as close to that canopy line as I can without hitting it, right, like this. Okay, so everyone can see there, good. Right, so see that? I've landed as close as I could to the canopy line without hitting it. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to work this soft plastic down around this snag. Once you've got it in the water, right, then you can just pick your line, see? And the same old story, work your soft plastic right to the shore, people. Right, so let's go again. Okay. So we got it in the same spot, which is good. Right, I'm just going to give that time to sink. This is taking a long time to sink because it's fairly deep there. It's still sinking, still sinking, still sinking. Good. Right, bump. Rightio. Now, the other good thing is too, people, let's get this back now, okay? So that's just a little insight on what you can do to like sort of help you give yourself more of a chance to get fish and that sort of stuff. Let's bring this back. So what you want to do is too, right, see here, see how we've got this little branch in the water there, right? What you want to do, try and hit it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast a few times and see if I can hit the branch. Half the time you don't get it anyway, right? So first one here. Okay. So I've landed just to the right of it, but I've got my depth right, okay? So bring this in. Little things like this just help you learn how to use your gear. So everything was straight there, but I wasn't lined up, right? So we try again. Okay, nearly, but that's where you want to be, in that vicinity, you know what I mean? You want to make sure that you can sort of hit within a dinner plate of your target, okay, you know, 9 out of 10 times that you cast. Now this is good because we've got some structure around here. So with the structure, I can't do a proper overhand cast, right? So now what I need to do is come through here, okay, and see how I'm usually in the vicinity. Right, I'm actually not happy with that because if I go to some of the rivers that I fish down south, I'll get absolutely obliterated, okay? And my mates will absolutely hammer me for not being accurate. There we go. So see how I'm always around it, give or take? Sammy, how are you, bud? Welcome to the stream. So little things like that make all the difference when you're fishing, fam, you know? And this stretch of river here, when you've got black bream around, beautiful stretch of river for black bream, but you need a vessel to get here. I think this is about the only thing that saves it. And what I'll do, people, let me show you how these little lures look in the water, okay? Because this will be good for you. That way you can sort of see what's going on, all right? So if we go in here, and this is the power of soft plastics, right? Because soft plastics are one of the few lures that actually do look lifelike, okay? So if you look in here, right, and just check out this focus here, okay, give me that. So when this soft plastic comes through the water like this, watch, it actually looks reasonably lifelike. See, look, because you've got the head facing down, much like the natural. See how the tail wiggles? Right, and you can work it in and around structure and all that sort of stuff, you know? That's why they work so well, and that's why so many people use them, you know? All right, let's go back in here, and let's see if we can get a fish out of this snag, okay? Right, let's bring this in here. Alrighty, so see that there? What we're going to do now is see if we can get a fish out of this snag. All right. So now that we've figured out where everything is, beautiful. So see how I'm right on it straight away? That's because we did the casting practice before. Now see how my braid is about a foot out from the log. Usually where your braid is, that's the line that your lure or your soft plastic will come along, right? And then the other thing is too, you can actually work. Oi, hello, that wasn't a branch, that was a fish. Okay, now, the other thing is too, right? Seeing here how we've got like this fork, and then we've got that shaded area under the tree through here, right? I can cast this soft plastic into that area there and fish it over the snag because of the fact that I'm using braid, right? A lot of your bigger fish, so where we cast here before there was all sunlight, but a lot of your bigger fish will shit. Sorry. I just crossed sit and shade for those of you that are wondering why I was being a bit rude, but anyway, right? That's why, Jim. Yeah, we're trying to produce television grade content. Speak English, boy. So, Love Hyven, how are you, bud? Welcome to the stream. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cast over the fork underneath the tree in the shade there and see if we can get something out. Okay. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do now is, and the good thing about this is, right, I've just put that little lure straight over the log, and that's why when you fish, okay, what you do there is you improve your skill set, because the two things that you need to catch fish are shade and structure, right? So we've got all of it there. Beautiful. Right on the edge of it. And you got to remember too, you got to watch where your line falls, because if your line doesn't fall correctly, you can cause yourself a bit of headaches, you know? So I'll just bring it up over here. Oh, we've got a little bit of a branch in that. But still fish it, okay? Fish it right to your feet. Most of the fish here today are probably at our feet anyway. There's other things you can do. I call this, a lot of in America, they do it with the surface walkers. I do this with the soft plastic, but I just call it walking the dog. So the first thing you need to do is just try and cast along the structure that you're fishing, right, and fish it down here. So rod tip down, and if there's a fish underneath the structure, right, normally it sort of lets you know that it's there, you know. Rightio. All right, so we've gotten right in under there now. So this might not help us on this river, but normally a cast like that on most other rivers that I fish usually equates to a fish. And what you do is, with the braid not having any stretch, what you do is when you see the structure, you lift your rod tip and the lure will follow the position of your rod tip, right? And then what happens is you just drop it again. So you can fish both sides of structure, okay? Beautiful. Now that's right on the money there. So I'm going to step back. I don't know whether you can see where my braid is. Right, that's on the bottom. Bump, bump. Oh, we just got it. Now, even though I had a little bit of leaf and that sort of stuff on the soft plastic, when I bumped the soft plastic like that, it took off, and away we go. All right, so now what we're doing is we're fishing areas that we normally don't fish, right? Yeah, other rivers down south, that's where bream and even flathead lie in the estuaries. That's why I've come down here. And the other thing is too, you know, we're casting into a fairly strong wind. So all these things equate to, you know, just different factors that once we get on top of it with our casting and that sort of stuff, we'll probably get fish, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll just go to the, I'm going to just go to the left of this canopy line again. That's way too left. That was actually a bit weak on my part, but anyway, we'll try it again. But same old story. I've cast it, fish it. And just be patient. Because a lot of people like to do the show-off stuff. They'll cast, they go, oh, that's not where I wanted to cast, and they lift the rod tip up. Don't do that. Once it's in the water, you've got just as much chance of catching a fish, you know? Right, so I'm just going to work this nice and slowly. So remember, you got the lighter the weight, the better the presentation, and the less distance you cast, right? But then when you've got a heavier weight, you can cast further, but it's not as good for your presentation. The line straightened then, and it was a lot quicker than normal. And the reason why I'm casting upstream, people, is because of the fact that we've got the tide coming in. So we'll go again. Sorry to ignore chat for a bit. Rightio. So what I can do now is I have a consistent casting arc. So what I do now that I can cast dead straight and hit it twice in the same spot, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shift my body around. And then that way when I shift my body around, I'm actually going to aim a bit differently, okay? So, nice. And you've got different retrievals and all sorts of stuff, Bam. All right, so let me just check chat before we progress. Oh, that's right, Budmeister, and it takes you out of your comfort zone. Now, see what I'm doing here, right? That's my, like, natural casting position straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an 1/8 of a turn, right? So now what I should do is cast just to the left of the... See how I've moved a bit closer, right? So what I'll do now is... Okay, I'm actually fine-tuning my casting because this allows me to position myself so that I get accustomed, because each rod and reel that you use is different, Budmeister, right? And you've just got to go out and use it and make your mistakes, right? To try and, you know, just try and get there and get accustomed to it. So now I'm nearly front on. I'm probably about, I'd say about 20 degrees shy. So now what I'll do, balanced right here. I've got my target. This is my point and shoot because I can't cast straight up and down. I've got to arc it around because of the overhead structure. Right, oh, quick little point check here. Make sure you load the soft plastic properly. Right. Now from here, I should be right on the money. See? So what I've done, each time now, I know how to position my body and cast at my target. So I cast here, I cast there, and I turn round. And that's the thing, mate. Every time you cast a fishing rod and reel, try and learn one thing from what you do. Now, a lot of people don't go into the in-depth stuff of like, body positioning and all that sort of stuff. But when you teach fly fishing and you're trying to get people correct so that they can cast, it's actually very important. Right. I've got a spot on the Lefroy Brook that I know that cast is. Get off there, bud. Ah. Well, that's really disappointing because that loop knot, that snapped at the hook. Look at this, people. I don't like this fluorocarbon. That actually snapped at the hook, not the knot. That's weak. Huh? Oh, well, back we go. We try again. Yeah, but... Mars, how are you, bud? Yeah, Mars. We've only got one community that's got an issue with the boat, mate. Everybody that stuck around for the whole time knows that the boat was taken back in accordance with the sponsorship deal, mate. You know, that's why we should have another one by the end of the year. I'm not saying where from, but yeah, we're working on another one, right? So, hey, Lumpy, how are you, mate? Mate, thanks for the 100 bits, bud. Okay. Hey, Synthetic Chicken, how are you, bud? Lurkin, what's going on? So, yeah, but do you see what I mean, Bud Micer? So with that, mate, what we've done, right, is we've got, look, you've got to have a constant when you cast, and that's your stance. I'm usually a right foot forward caster because I retrieve left-handed, see? And if you're a left-handed caster, you retrieve right-handed, you'd probably be like that. But it depends. Most of my casting down south, when I'm freshwater fishing and I'm brim fishing for the big brim down south, because I'm hanging off a tree, you've got to be able to cast with one hand, then come back on shore and retrieve, see? I think we're going to have to introduce a couple of counters. One for what's the biggest fish you've caught, and the other one for people coming in asking about the boat. Now, this is good because this high tide's roaring in. We're going to fish for about another half hour, Bam, okay? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bud Micer, a few years ago, mate, we got a $80,000 boat as part of a sponsorship deal for a year. So, not happy with this fluorocarbon. That's ridiculous. That's 8 kilo. It shouldn't snap like that. I have to go and ring my friends. Hang on a second, fam. I've just got to get some more. Let's get some of this stuff. Yeah, thanks for that, good. Oh, you're welcome. Remember, bud, the stream's free, mate. We appreciate any support, but we don't expect it, bud.